Hi class, this week we're going to learn about linear perspective. Linear perspective is a system using geometry to help us describe forms like buildings and roads and boxes, etc. in space. So today we're going to talk about 1-point perspective, and then next class we'll do 2-point perspective. So first of all, you need a piece of paper, ruler, or some kind of straight edge. You can use the side of a magazine, whatever you have, or just use your free hand to draw, and then a pencil. I'm only using pens for this video so you can see better, but I recommend a pencil. You're going to draw your horizon line. Your horizon line is your eye level. So everything you see at this level is your eye level. Everything above is above eye level, so things like clouds or tall buildings will be up here. Everything down here is below eye level. So that means, like, if you're eating dinner and looking at your table, your plates and dishes, etc., will be below eye level. So because we're doing 1-point perspective, we need 1 point. This is called your vanishing point. All lines vanish and connect to this point. Next class, when we do 2-point perspective, we'll use 2 points, but right now we're just using 1. Okay, we're going to start by drawing some boxes. I'm going to start by drawing boxes that are below the horizon line, so you can think of this like a box on the floor. Okay, now we have drawn a rectangle. This is the front side of the box. Now we're going to connect all the corners to the vanishing point, and we're going to make it a dashed line. Okay, so we're pretending that this box is see-through, and we can see all the sides through it and all the edges and all the corners. Most boxes, though, aren't made of glass and you can't see through them, but for this one it is. Okay, now you're going to think, how far back do you want your box to go? Let's say we want it to go about here. So from this point now, you'll draw a line that goes to the other line that's parallel here, and down that's parallel here. So we can see it. Okay. Now we also want to bring this line down to here and then across to here. All right, now we're going to make all of our lines that are part of the box solid. So this is a see-through box. Okay. Now it's your turn. Draw a see-through box underneath the horizon line. Okay, now we're going to do another box under the horizon line, and this time we're going to make it solid, so not see-through. So we draw our rectangle. Now we're only going to draw points to here, here, and here, but not here because it's not see-through, so we won't be able to see it. Okay, same as before. Pick a point on the dotted line. Okay, now we're going to make all these dashed lines solid. So as you can see, you can't see through the box. You can only see 1, 2, 3 sides of the box. Whenever a box is not see-through, you can never see more than 3 sides. So make sure you're not drawing also the side over here, because that would not be realistic. Okay, now it's your turn. Draw one solid box below the horizon line. Okay, now we're going to draw some boxes above the horizon line. It's the same deal as before. All right, I'll make this one see-through. So pick a point on this line. Go across across parallel and go up parallel. Okay, now make the line solid. And we also need to go do the inside. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and draw a see-through box that is above the horizon line. Okay, now we'll do another box that is above the horizon line, and this time it'll be solid, so you can't see through it. Make it kind of a skinny box. I'll make it down here. Okay, so now we have kind of a long flat box, like a pizza box, really. And it's floating above our heads. So imagine you got pizza and you hold it up above your head. That's what you'd see. You see the bottom, the side, this side, but you do not see the top. Okay, now it's your turn. Draw a box above the horizon line that is solid. Okay, now we're going to draw a box on the horizon line. Okay, so do our dotted lines. Okay, I want to go this deep. All right, make these lines solid. Now, what do you notice about this box? Can you see the top of it? No. Can you see the bottom of it? No. Can you see the front of it? Yes. And one side. When it's on the horizon line, like this, and it goes a bit above and a bit below, you will not see the top or the bottom. Whereas before, if it's above the horizon line, you see the bottom, but not the top. And if it's below the horizon line, you see the top, but not the bottom. So keep that in mind as you're drawing. Okay, so now we're going to draw real objects in our house using 1-point perspective. I want to point out a couple things about this. In the past, we've been drawing things based on how they actually look, using observation and measuring, etc. We'll forget all of that for this today. Today we are drawing using a system of mathematics and geometry, where you connect corners and you draw lines in various ways. It's not necessarily based on reality, but it's based on math, okay? So don't actually look at this and try to draw it. You're going to be using the system of 1-point perspective to draw it. Now, just to explain something, when you look at an object straight on, so you're looking at the front, that's 1-point perspective. And when you look at the corner, that's when you use 2-point perspective. So today we are only looking at the front. We are not looking at the corners, okay? So you kind of have to ignore what your eyes are telling you they see and just use the system. Okay, so I'm gonna draw this is the front. Okay, so I'm gonna draw that. Okay, now we are going to decide if the box is see-through or not. It is not see-through. Draw your dashed lines to the vanishing point from the 3 corners. Okay, so now we're going to decide how long should it go back. Well, it's pretty long. It's actually a square, so I'll just sort of go like, since it's going back in space, it's going to get foreshortened a little bit. I think right around. Let's do right around there, actually. That looks good. So now I'm going to draw a parallel line just like before. Okay. Then make your lines solid. Okay, and another thing I would add just to make it look like this is these staples. Okay, and really these staples should go back in space to the vanishing point, which it does. See this one? Yep. What about this? Yeah, good. And then if we want, we can draw a little bit of the details. So let's say draw an object. So I want you to go around either whatever room you're in and find things that are made up of boxes and then draw them. Okay, now I'm going to draw the same object, but this time from this direction. So once again, I have to draw the front. Okay. Now I have to draw diagonals from all four corners. Okay, now I need to figure out how far back it goes. I'm gonna say there. Now, this object actually has an invisible top, doesn't it? Because you can see through to the top. So because of that, I'm gonna draw the insides. If it were just like this, I wouldn't have to draw the insides, right? And then there's a little piece of wax. Okay, so now go ahead and find 3 objects in your house that are made out of boxes and draw them in linear perspective. Okay, the first thing we have to do is draw the wall. Okay, the wall doesn't have to be centered on the line, that's all right. Because this just depends on, like, let's say how tall you are, if you're sitting or standing, etc., what your eye level is. Okay, now you're going to draw a line starting from the corner that lines up with the vanishing point. Okay, so this is the ceiling, these are the side walls, and this is the floor. So we can erase this line here because you don't see it through the wall. However, let's keep our point because we will need it. All right, now we're going to draw some wood floor. So we draw little dots on the floor, equally spaced, however many you want or can fit, and go from the point to the line. Okay, see how this looks like a bunch of wood floor slats? All right, now we're gonna draw some tiles on the ceiling. So to do that, we're going to draw first just a straight line. Let's see one more. Okay, and then let's say that they're actually like big tiles like that. Okay. Now we're going to draw some windows. So to draw a window, we first have to do the vertical lines. Now you have to go towards the center. Now when you do this, you'll see that, oh, I didn't go down low enough. So you have to bring it down. What about here? Actually there I went too low, or too high. So I'm just gonna erase it. Okay, so there's my window. And let's give it also a window pane. And let's see, half is like here. No, more like there. Okay, so that's my window. Now I'm gonna leave this line here because actually that is the outside world. So you can see the horizon line. However, these right here, I can get rid of because you can't see through your wall. So I'm gonna add a little tree. Go ahead now and draw your window and then add a tree or a lake or some mountains, sand dunes, whatever you like. Now I'm going to make the rest of the window. So let's give it like a little bit of the pane, or let's give it a frame rather. This is the window panes and this is the frame. So okay, so that's the frame of the window. All right, okay, now we are going to add a painting on the other wall. So I'm gonna make it high up in the center. All right, so what's the painting of? Let's say it's of a vase with a bunch of flowers in it. Something in the background. Okay, we're also going to erase this because there's no window on this side. We could add a door though. I think I'm going to add a door right here. So let's say the door is about this tall. Just bring it straight down. Okay, there's the doorknob. All right. Now we want to think about objects in the room. Okay, so we've decorated the walls and the floor and the ceiling. We want to put objects in the room. So the objects are going to act like boxes again. Okay, so we're going to draw a bed and we're going to pretend a bed is pretty much a box. So let's put the bed on this side. Say it's about this tall. Okay, so there's the headboard. Okay, so this is like the headboard of the bed, and then it's gonna go around this far. Oh, it says it goes to that there. Okay, so now we're gonna treat this like a box, right? Just like a normal box like we did before. Go like that. Okay, from here to here. Let's bring it. This. Okay. All right. Okay, let's give it a pillow around it, but we still want to use this. Actually, no, we want to see this part. Okay, so maybe the blanket goes down. And maybe we'll let the sheets show a little bit. And maybe the bed has a flower pattern. Now let's say that there is a bookshelf on this wall. Now it should come out a little bit. It shouldn't just stop at the bottom because it needs to come down a little bit away from the wall, right? Okay, so that's the frame, and then it's gonna go into, it's gonna be kind of deep. All right, so now going to the vanishing point, go from the corners. That line. All right, then let's do a shelf. And since this is above the horizon line, you'll see that from underneath, right? Okay, so do you see how if there's a shelf and if it's above the horizon line, you're gonna see the bottom of it, just like this, you see the bottom from underneath, okay? But if there's gonna be a shelf below the horizon line, then it's the opposite. You're gonna see the top of it. It's a little lower so it lines up better. Okay, so we can see the top of the shelf, we can see the bottom of the shelf. So if there's like a teddy bear here, it's there. And here, if we have a vase, it'll be on top of the shelf like that. Okay, I'll do one last thing. How about we'll do a little table right here under the window. So first we're gonna draw the front of it. Parallel line. Let's see. We got that tall. And then the last table leg should be back here, like that. And our table is not see-through. Oh, we need the thickness for the top. Kind of a dark table. Okay, by now you've followed along with me and you've drawn this together with me. Now it's your turn for your last thing today to draw your own room using linear perspective.